All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about something called program evaluation. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds kind of dry, right? Like a test. But I want you to forget all that. Instead, let's think of it as a compass, a really practical tool that helps you steer any project you're working on toward actual success.
You've been there, right? You have this amazing idea, this project you're pouring your heart and soul into. You spend all this time, all this energy, but then you take a step back and ask yourself, how do I really know if this is working? Is it making the difference I thought it would? Well, that question, that's exactly what program evaluation is all about answering.
So what is it, really? Simply put, evaluation is a process. It's a way to take a good hard look at what you're doing. This isn't about getting a pass or fail grade. It's just a systematic way to gather information, analyze it, and figure out what you're doing, how you're doing it, and what's actually happening because of it.
And what's the point of all that? Well, Michael Quinn Patton, who's a big name in this space, really nailed it. He said the purpose is basically threefold: to judge how things are going, to figure out how to improve, and, this is key, to help you make smarter decisions down the road. It's all about learning as you go. Okay, so that leads us to the big why. Why should you even bother with all of this? It really boils down to two huge things. You do it to improve your work, and you do it to demonstrate your value. Think of it like this. You've got two sides of the same coin. One side is about looking inward. You're constantly checking in, tweaking things, and making sure your project is the best it can be. The other side is about looking outward. It's about showing the world, hey, what we're doing here, it's actually working. Let's dig into that improve part. An evaluation is basically a health checkup for your project. It shows you exactly where things could be better so you can reach your goals way more efficiently. And what's really cool is that you get to share what you learn, both the wins and the fails, so that everybody in your field gets a little bit smarter. Now, on the flip side, there's the demonstrate part. This is your secret weapon for telling a powerful story, but with real evidence to back it up. When you can clearly show your impact, it's a massive morale booster for your team. And let's be real, it's absolutely crucial for getting and keeping the support of anyone who's funding your work. So you're probably thinking, okay, I get the why, but how do I actually do this? Well, the first thing to know is that timing is everything. And that brings us to the two main types of evaluation: formative and summative. The difference here is all about when you do it and why. Formative evaluation happens while the program is running. Its whole purpose is to make things better on the fly. Think of it like a coach yelling tips from the sideline during a game. Summative evaluation, on the other hand, happens after the program's been running for a while. Its purpose is to judge the final result, like looking up at the scoreboard after the game is over. But we can get even more specific than that, because where your program is in its journey will change the kind of evaluation you need. It really is all about picking the right tool for the job. Every program has a life. It starts out in the planning stage, before it's even real. Then you have the launch, when everything is brand new. After a while, it becomes established. It's hit its rhythm. And finally, it becomes a mature program. Each of these stages has its own set of questions that need answers. And this is where it all clicks into place. In the planning stage, you do a needs assessment to ask, what's the actual problem we're trying to solve? Right after you launch, a process evaluation checks in with, hey, are we even doing what we said we were going to do? Once you're established, an outcome evaluation asks, are we hitting our short-term goals? Like, are people's attitudes or skills changing? And finally, when the program is mature, an impact evaluation asks the big ultimate question: what's the long-term, big picture difference we've made? Okay, this is all great in theory, but how do you actually do it? How do you put it into practice? For that, we're going to look at a really fantastic, super clear framework from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, the CDC originally made this for public health, but honestly, it's so logical and so practical that you can use it for almost anything. It's a 6-step plan that basically takes all the guesswork out of the process. So here they are, the 6 steps. First, and this is so important, you engage stakeholders. You start with the people. Then you get super clear on what you're actually doing by describing the program and focusing the evaluation. Next comes the detective work. You gather credible evidence and then justify your conclusions based on that evidence. And finally, you close the loop and share the lessons learned. It's a full circle. It starts with people and ends with making things better for people. I really want to stop here for a second and focus on step one, because it's the absolute foundation of everything. Engaging your stakeholders, your team, your clients, your funders, everybody right from the start is non-negotiable. If you skip this, you run a huge risk of doing all this work, getting all this data, and then nobody cares. The findings get ignored or shot down because you didn't ask the questions they wanted answered in the first place.
And that really brings us to the right mindset for all of this. A good evaluation has to be honest. It's not some PR stunt to make you look good. It's not about just declaring, we succeeded or we failed. It's a learning exercise. It's about having the courage to look at the real story so you can actually get better. So if you remember one thing, let it be this. The goal isn't to prove that you were right all along. The goal is to get it right. That's what this is all about. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. What is the single most important question you could ask about your work today?